For the IT band, if you're like just standing around and you're feeling like things are kind of stiff and achy, if you just bend, so if I'm a mirror for you, if you just bend this side, do you feel pressure? That's an IT band stretch. So the IT band, because it's like a big long tendon, now careful. What happened just then, and it's funny, I used to joke like stupid human tricks. It feels like your hip just dislocated, right? So be careful, like don't make it do that over and over again. What just happened, that bump of bone that we're talking about, when you shifted your hip sideways, that bump of bone was underneath the IT band. When you had tension on the IT band and then bent, did you see that? The bump of bone kind of flipped out the back side of the IT band. Don't do it. Stop. so, so the problem with that is just that it creates friction. Every time you do that, it creates friction. We don't want more friction than's happening there already. So make sure that you keep this kind of flat when you go to the side. That way the IT band is going over the top of that because we just don't want it to like pop out because that's just too much friction. But when you feel that pressure there, that's an IT band stretch. So it feels different than like a quad or a hamstring stretch because it's not a big muscle, it's just a big long tendon. So you're going to feel pressure more than anything. But that's good. That's an IT band stretch. So same thing here, it would be 30 seconds, back off for just a second. I kind of unweight it by putting my pressure on the other foot and then just go through the same thing again, just hip straight out to the side. You feel that pressure on the outside. You stay there for 30 seconds, back off it again. So you do that 4 times in a row. That is purely just an IT band stretch. It's helpful, but if we can take advantage of the same amount of time and stretch multiple parts, I'd rather do that. So I'll show you a way that you can stretch like 3 different parts. Since yours is the right side, I don't know what the easiest way to show you is. I'll show you sideways and then I'll show you from the back. So if you have a countertop, um, a dresser, something like that, that's a little higher. A desk might be a little bit too low, but the kitchen counter is a good height for this. We can use this here just because we don't have anything else right now. To stretch the right one, you're going to cross the left in front. When I have the left in front, I really don't care what it's doing. Like it's not really doing anything, but my left hip is going to end up being dropped down a little. So to start this position, you take your butt back, and all I'm doing here is just bending this hip straight, so my butt's going straight back. As soon as I feel a stretch kind of in the hamstring back here, then I'm going to shift my hips towards the right. Now I'm getting a stretch out here on the outside edge, getting a little bit of tension in the IT band, and I'm still getting a hamstring stretch. So I'm actually stretching 3 different muscle groups here. So I stay here for 30 seconds. At the end of 30 seconds, I just put pressure on my front foot to take the pressure off of the back, and then I go through the same thing again. So butt back. As soon as I feel the stretch here on the back of the hamstring, then I shift my hips to the right. And then I get that stretch on all 3 parts for 30 seconds, back off of it again. You do it 4 times in a row. So if you're looking at the angle from the back, that I have like upper body supported. This is awkward with a chair, but it'd be easier on a counter. Not really much weight through my front foot at all. It's all through my back foot. So hips back, right there. I felt a stretch here, and it's really just like a bending my hip, like dropping my belly button forward. As soon as I feel the stretch in the back of the hamstring, then I shift my hips to the side. Now I get a stretch up here. I feel a little bit of tension out here, and I still feel the hamstring stretch back here. So I'm here for 30 seconds. At the end of 30 seconds, I just put pressure on the front foot. I don't really have any pressure on the back one now. And then I just redo the whole thing. So hips straight back and then over to the side. I think you're probably gonna like this one a lot. Let me see you try. It's awkward. Let's have you turn that way. There you go. It's awkward just because of the forearms. Like, oh, doesn't feel good. It's a lot of pressure. So the front leg is bent, and yep, perfect. And hips back. Yep, there you go. That's You feel it in the hamstring. All right, as soon as you feel it in the hamstring, don't overdo it. I don't want pain. but then you just shift your hips towards the right just a little. It doesn't have to be like a big curve to your spine. It's really just careful. So each time when you flattened your low back, that made you stretch your hamstring more. So just be careful. I don't want you to overdo it. But hips back and then angled to the right. Yep, just a little bit, just so you end up feeling it on the outside edge. Do you feel it in those three spots? Perfect. I love this one. This is probably going to get the places that you need the best. And what's nice is you can do this throughout the day. You don't need any special setup for this. Just find something you can prop your arms on because you don't want your back to strain. Honestly, you can do this one. If I was just standing like in the gym, I've done this one where I put pressure on the front leg and take my hips back and to the side. So like you could do it even without the chair. Honestly, it might be better. That chair got my elbows. So try it without the chair. Move the chair out of the way. And yeah, so I want to be sure you're supporting. Yeah, I'll do it. Thank you. So your front knee is bent and you're really supporting your upper body on your front knee. If you look at me this way, so when I start, my hip is kind of pulled forward, just like when I was resting there. I drop my belly down and then my hips to the side so you get that on the side. But you want to be sure that you have pressure through your hands on that front knee so you're not irritating your back. Um, and you always feel a hamstring first and then go to the side. Just be careful not to overdo it. Don't maintain with it, okay? Definitely do not want it to be more aggressive. It should just be a little tension, little pressure. Does that feel good? Excellent. So that, what you said is exactly what I would want you to take away from this is your position could look just like someone else's position, but you could both be feeling totally different things. It's all about the tiny little shifts. Like in that position, when you flattened your back out, kind of let your belly go down towards the floor, then you really felt the stretch, right? So it's knowing where you're supposed to feel that stretch and just gently kind of shifting your position until you get the stretch in just the right spot. So it doesn't have to, it's not like you're trying to go through a certain amount of motion. You're just trying to kind of shift and change until you feel it in the right place.